Hey, it's Paul. Welcome back to B&B Talk. Don't forget to do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Alright, change of pace on this episode, so I'm going to jump right into things. We see a few characters we haven't seen in a while. Now, the first thing we see is Ridge and Quinn, and they're working together on a design piece, and they've got a model at Forster Creations that Ridge is working with, and Quinn has fitted her with a necklace. Now, eventually we see they actually work on a compromise with the necklace, and it looks like they work well together. Now, after that, we see Thomas, and he visits Caroline, and he's asking her more about, her and Ridge and how they got together. And then he shows her one of his drawings that he made for his latest design. Now, Caroline looks at it, and she says it's good, but she gives him some tips on making it better, and he lets her know that he'll be taking it to Ridge. After that, we see Deacon, and he's chatting with Brooke up on the patio at Forster until Quinn shows up, and you think sparks are going to fly. And then eventually we see Quinn remind Brooke that, that she still hasn't forgot what she did to try to stop their wedding. Now, Quinn sums it up by just asking Brooke just to be happy for them, and says that she hasn't done anything crazy in months. So hopefully, well, I don't even know if they're going to do a change of pace with this character, but time will tell. And she starts talking about Ridge, and she tells him that Ridge is capable of compromise, and she actually likes working with him, as opposed to Rick, because morale is up and everyone seems to be happy around Forster. She tells them, though, that Thomas wants to be a designer, and that's the first they've heard of it. Now, after she leaves, Quinn is, she says to Deacon that she's surprised that they were civil to each other, and she's also surprised that she's in a successful, happy marriage, being that this is her first marriage. So, looks like good things are ahead for these guys, hopefully. And then we see Brooke, and she is looking for Thomas, and she shows up at Caroline's door, and she asks Caroline how Ridge and her are doing. Obviously, it doesn't really look like she wants them to be doing well, and Caroline tells them that they're doing fine, and then she tells her about Thomas, but we know that Brooke already knows about Thomas wanting to be a designer. Brooke reminds Caroline that it's her, not too long ago, that brought her to town, and Caroline kind of remembers that, and they reminisce a bit about it. And then she also reminds her that Thomas and she used to be a couple, as in Thomas and Caroline. And then they get into Caroline's feelings for Ridge, and Caroline actually confesses that she is in love with Ridge. So Brooke looks like she's going to be doing some meddling, so it looks like she's feeling out the situation first. And the last thing we see is Thomas, and he shows up at Ridge's office, and the model is still there, and she starts flirting with Thomas. She wants to get his number. Eventually, he does give her his number, and you can see the competition between Thomas and Ridge already. But he's bothered because he's got to jump through hoops to get on his father's design team. Ridge cautions him about rushing his designs, and eventually Ridge looks at the design and he rips it up, and Thomas is furious. And Ridge says it's not cutting edge enough, and he says that they have to set trends at Forster, not follow. And he actually says it's awful, and he said if it's the best you can do, then you're the last person I'd hire. And that's where we leave things off. An interesting episode. I hope that you'll keep checking us out. Subscribe and follow us on social media. It's Paul, it's B&B Talk. Have a great day.